is there anything that you'd like to say that we haven't gone over to the upcoming public relations practitioners, this next generation? What else might you want to say to them so that they could be better at what they do?
Spirit of dissatisfaction.
Okay.
You know, don't be immobilized by temporary success, small perks, fancy titles. There's always a way to do it better, and it depends on what you personally want. And if ambition is an adjective and not a noun, you're going to have to earn it. By and large, public relations business is in the corporate world. So you better immerse yourself in that. Just don't go to PR meetings, go to business meetings. Get into their mindset, into their rhythms. Talk to them. Read what they read, not what you read. If you go to one of the, like the Page meeting, I'm not going to it because I don't think those speakers they chosen have anything to say that I need to know. But nevertheless, I have never gone to a business meeting where I haven't gotten something out of it. Maybe a contact, maybe an idea. And I have gone to an awful lot. Well, I wonder why I'm going. But you have to be dissatisfied with what you're doing and your own progress. One of my friends that I've developed over the years is a man by the name of Donald Kehoe. Now, Donald Kehoe was the president and soul of Coca-Cola. He was the guy who went to the 200 and some odd countries where Coke is sold and spread the gospel. He retired at 65, and Coke went through a series of bad choices for CEOs. So in a totally unprecedented move, they re-elected him to the board at 77. He's a graduate of Notre Dame. He's a garrulous storytelling Irishman, but as solid as a steel bar. And my daughter got involved in her husband's security business, and he has MS, so she was running it for a while. And I asked Don if he'd talk to her, and he graciously did. And what he said, she still walks on water from that meeting. He said, set down your own goals, what you really think you want to do, and look at them at least every couple of months and see how you're doing. And if you cheat, you're only cheating yourself. And I kind of do that unconsciously, you know. You need that kind of discipline, and I think personal discipline is an important thing for young people. I can't tell them to be ethical or be moral because they either are or they aren't. I mean, I could give them all kinds of guidelines. That doesn't mean anything, you know. One of the cliches of the business, you put your job on the line every day. Well, I'd like to know who left because they disagreed with something. They don't put their job on the line every day. That's an old wives' tale. Now, as to, and you mentioned it in your questions, I did a research and wrote a profile of Arthur Page one time. So I think I know, although I certainly never met him, I think I got a feeling of what he was all about. And while I think the Arthur Page principles are noble, but they're a little too pious. Arthur Page was not pious. First of all, Arthur Page was not a public relations person. He was a business executive. He dealt with his peers who were also directors. He had great instinct, obviously, about the relationship of a company to its employees and to its neighbors and so on and so forth. And he articulated those, but not in those wonderfully codified terms that are in the Page Directory. Right. I don't think he disagreed with any of them, and I think they're great to have. But then there's a little lacking of reality in some of them, I think, I fear. An organization has to have something like that, but they also should realize the practical side, I think. But get over the fear of writing. I don't care what you do. If you don't do that well, and if you don't like to do it, you know, it's too bad. It's so much more important than being a virtuoso with technology. You can always hire those people. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know what the curriculum is at Penn State, but if you ever want a role model to look at Ball State. Do you know much about it?
No, I really don't.
They have an extraordinary communications operation. They have their own radio station. They have their own newspaper. They have their own PR firm who actually take local assignments. It's a beautiful university buried out in Muncie, Indiana. I'm very impressed by what they do in terms of what we're talking about. And I've been to other schools who are okay, but they stand out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're also buried under journalism.
Right. Yeah. Penn State has what you talked about. They've got PR
Well,
firms.
it's only been a couple of years now, though, isn't it?
Well, the School of Communications was organized, I think, in '85. Then it became the college in, what, '91 or '2 or something?
Yeah.
And
What's the background of the dean?
journalism.
Mm.
Journalism. He comes from
Practical journalism or academic?
practical, but he was a sports writer, wasn't he? I think he was a sports writer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
His name is what, Anderson?
Right, Doug
Yeah.
Anderson. Right, he came out of Arizona State.
Out of where?
Arizona State was
Uh-huh.
where he was before he came out to Penn State.
What was he doing in Arizona State?